toppers and private school toppers on each side and comparing them. It showed how much of a handicap government school poor students, even though the toppers in the state, were having compared to the private school students because of lack of available resources, guidance, and people to help them, mentor them. So we realized how we all came from the similar background. So the 7 of us started this organization for the express purpose of bringing up in life the poor students who work so hard and are brilliant to further their education, professional education, postgraduate education, and help them find productive jobs, and so therefore take their family to the next level out of poverty, like we all did. So in that context, Praveen's job here, the volunteering of Praveen here is so important to improve our students' prospects to get jobs. So I welcome Praveen and pass it on to JK.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you. Hello, students. This is JK Jay Kumar, Secretary and co-founder of SEEEDS. Many of you knows me. So today, actually, I would say in our whole life, we go through a lot of unfortunate situations, everybody. And some people, face this unfortunate in the early stage, some people in the later stage. But there are few fortunate days. Today is one of them. I introduce Mr. Praveen Kamath. He's a General Manager and HR Head, Global Delivery Enablement at Wipro. You all know about Wipro. It's a wonderful company, we all know. And he's a GM for HR. And so personally, I don't know Praveen until last month, actually. So we were looking for a person like, in the HR side, a person like Praveen for, to train our students. And luckily, I got him through a common friend. Even the common friend I was talking about, there's no touch for like 20 years. So with this, I was able to re-establish the contacts, and most importantly, getting know about Praveen Kamath. So let's use this opportunity, and let's request Praveen to contribute more as much. And before ending, I want to tell you, Praveen also is coming from very humble background, and with his hard work, he came to this level. And not only that, like many of us here, he is supporting many of underprivileged students in India. So it's a lot of coincidence and sync between us. And with this journey, we can go together and make bigger impact. With that, I'll turn over to Mohan. If Mohan is running this show smoothly, and also our admission team. Mohan, want to have a few words before Praveen kickstart?
Yeah, actually, thank you, JK. Thank you, Uncle and everyone, and Nivedita. So thank you, Praveen, for hosting this event. So we have been running SEEEDS for close to 4 years now, little more than 4 years now. We have been running the whole project based on the funding from the close friends and the founders of SEEEDS. So we would like to open this forum to request all the viewers who are seeing this event, in case if you are interested about this project, if you want to be part of this, or if you want to contribute your time, or if you want to contribute your money, so please let us know. So there is a form below this video in the YouTube. If you go there, you can see the links to contact us. Please feel free to contact us. So I'll turn over to Mr. Praveen.
All right, team. First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. This 1 hour may not be sufficient for us to learn from each other. So it's a learning process. Having met, worked with, made sure I give my bit to this large student community for last 25 years. I make a humble attempt to tell you what are the things which we need to do at a bird's eye view level. Now, in case any one of you have subsequent queries about your career, your strengths, how do you leverage your strengths to your advantage? How do you make up for what you lost in your life when you prepare for your career? You can also get a lot of questions in your mind. You might tell yourself that I come from a small village, I hail with a vernacular medium background. My parents are not good enough for me to go to sponsor my trip to a city or establish myself to search for a job in the city. I think these are all common statements, problem statements, which we have seen in my life and in my friend's life. That's why I started my humble beginning by helping a lot of students. I think more than 25,000 students I've helped in my life, directly, indirectly, in various formats, because I never got any support from anyone when I pursued my life, education and subsequent career. One thing for sure, I'm no different than the people who are sitting and listening to me today. It's just that I've learned this art of speaking over a period of time. I also learned in a vernacular medium. I also came from a very lower middle class family. I come from a background wherein I started working at the early age of 16 and 17 to earn for my education. I was wearing most of the time my uncles and my cousin brothers shirts and trousers when I have to go to the school. I borrowed a tie for my first interview. So what I'm trying to impress here is, please don't consider me as an elite class of executive belonging to a large organization. Please don't consider me that way. I'm one among you, willing to work through you, help you, support. In whatever way I can do, I will certainly do it. And I'm going to give you my touch points and contact details. And you will see it for yourself, what kind of a transformation you can see as a student, as you build your career, your midlife crisis, as you build a good career, and then subsequently your retirement. My first student is 25 years back. One of them, I think, not one, I think 3 or 4 of them have even retired, early retirement in their life. So they've gone through the entire life of ups and downs. And believe me, they thought that they might need my help at an infancy stage of getting the first job. They were absolutely wrong. I think all of us need help at multiple junctures in our life. Significant amount of focus and help in terms of a thought process, rekindling our thoughts, and thereby value adding to our thought process, thereby triggering our actions. Our actions are triggered only when there is thought process in our minds. So I'm going to give you a lot of anecdotal. It might be a little boring for you when I give those examples, but I have to tell you those stories. When I say, just take it with a pinch of salt. But let me tell you, over a period of time, we will certainly become good friends.
Praveen, just to do you want all of us to be here? Are you, because you will have a better interaction with the students. You can ask them to turn on their cameras. And do you want it that way, or do you want their videos turned off? Do you want us to be present? What would you prefer us?
What I would do is maybe at the end, I would expect them to write me, or they can keep on chatting with me in the chat box. Okay. Let them all their questions. I will also give you 10 minutes to interact. So they can pick up their videos, they can listen to me, and we can have a Q&A at the end. As we go forward, if they like what I do, we can do complete interactive sessions in the days to come. It would be, fully owned session by my students. My futuristic leaders of large organizations, my entrepreneurs, my doctors and my engineers, and let me tell you, friends, that would be my biggest fulfillment. When you stand tall in that pedestal step, you have taken that step and that pedestal of building your career, I think that's my biggest satisfaction in terms of doing this session over a period of time. And I really mean it because I've seen it myself. And that's why I did not overcome it to Nivedita when she asked me, is it one session, two sessions? I said, you will make it for me to continue, or you can decide, I don't think he is value adding. That's fine. Ultimately, every one of us have choices in life. So we'll keep the Q&A today for the last 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll continue to engage with you. I'll give you my email IDs and all that. You can write an email to me. Unfortunately, I can understand Tamil being in Bangalore. I can't speak Tamil. I have very good friends in Tamil Nadu. I go to a lot of colleges in Tamil Nadu, but I can understand, but I can't speak. So whenever you call me in the future, you can speak in Tamil. No problem, because I spoke in Kannada to many English convent-going students to learn this language called English. Over a period of time, I've never learned this language even today. My daughter corrects me, my wife corrects me, because both of them are from English medium background. So I'm not ashamed.
Praveen, actually, yeah, that's kind of you, but yeah, we want students to, more interact with the English. That's one of the skill, I think, fortunately or unfortunately, that's a required skill. So it's good that, you can't speak in Tamil in this context, at least.
Wonderful, wonderful. So today, team, for the next maybe 30 minutes, we will talk about where you are now, what you want to be, how to get there. I will give you some little insights which you need to practice in your life. What are the support you require to reach there, and how can you keep improving? That presentation copy, you can see it on the screen, or Mohan will send it to you. You can send it to your larger population of friends. Please do. It's all yours. So I just want to tell you that in a first instance in our life, understanding these questions, these 5 questions, are extremely important. And you should not shy away from taking off on a Sunday morning, 2 to 3 hours. You should spend time in answering these questions. Now, I've done it many times in my life at multiple points in time. My milestones of every individual in life could be a job, a family, a marriage, a promotion, a change of job, death of a near relative, somebody's success, which is with whom you relate to. See, these are all milestones in our life, but each of the milestones have a significant input to your life. Sometimes positively, and the memorable ones are the negative ones. The bad experiences or bad instances, or the so-called situations which made you feel bad. By design, nobody is bad, no situation is bad. I can tell you loudly now, after going through 30 years of lifespan of working, 25 years of working experience, I can tell you it's an experience. But when you go through that particular phase in life, I think it will rekindle a lot of new thought process in your mind. That's why these simple 5 questions are extremely important. And let me tell you, having a simple answers to these simple questions is very complex. When simple things are repeated over a period of time, you become world class. And let me tell you, I've been an All India Radio artist at a very young age of 13. I've been a sports person being in the district level, at a university level, everywhere, whether it is in education, sports and games, or in art, fine art or any other art you have. When you do it again and again, when you do it religiously over a period of time, you look extremely good. Okay, I can even tell you examples of my last 10 years of losing weight. I lost 24 kgs of weight over a period of 3 years in 2007. I was running, I was heavier than anybody else compared to my height. I was about 100 plus kgs. Losing 24 kgs of weight was an Herculean task. And in fact, the doctor who did my master health checkup gave up on me. She started laughing and she said, I will put you on medication to lose weight. Let me tell you, there are certain simple things in life which you can incorporate. It becomes a new personality for you. So we are in slide 3. So what are the different things which you need to keep in mind? Which are the factors that affect our career and the choices of situations which we need to make? One, whether you're building a career or you're writing in a competitive exam or you're preparing for getting into an interview situation, your personality or your persona has to be developed. To that extent, you should put a lot of vitamins, you should put a lot of ingredients to make your personality look good. Now, how do you make it happen? I will come to those pointers as part of my couple of slides, 3 or 4 slides today. That can build your personality. Now, the personality consists of, in my opinion, and most of the people like your parents, your teachers, your so-called near and dear ones who's interested in you, have given you those insights from time to time. For example, when you go on a Sunday for a cricket match and waste your entire Sunday, there are instances in which you got a peace of mind from your parents. When you got that, so-called unwanted friend to get into a bad habit, bad habit could be as simple as spending time on your mobile phone for 4 hours. And if you check your screen time and average screen time, you suddenly realize that I'm wasting so much of time. It could also be a conversation with a highly academically qualified student who's been with you, around you, and you've been building friendship with him or her. You suddenly realized you start seeing changes in your personality. So what is important, team, here, you should understand, personality is a reflection of self in the context of the environment you are in. So it's important that with whom, where, what you spend time on. The more you spend time on the relevant field of specialization or people or areas of interest, your personality will be built that way. Let me tell you, let me promise you here, if you want to be a great artist, you have to spend time with artists. You want to be a good sports person, you have to be with people who are the best in class sports people. Why I'm giving you these insights, many times we think that I'm very unique, agnostic to what happens in this world. I will get what I need or what I want. Unfortunately, our environment contributes to it without your knowledge. For example, after seeing my professor G.G. Prabhu in my Bachelor of Science, when I did Bachelor of Science, I used to ape him. I used to copy him. I become a really good in my elocution or in all elocution competition or speech competition or personality driven competitions, right? Whether it is a MOOC competition or a competition to have what's the good word or it's a debate. You know what happened over a period of 3 years? I saw him so much in the classroom. I started aping him. I started copying him. It's okay to copy. Over a period of time, it becomes your style. Every cricketer, and this is a cricket season in India, every cricketer have copied a style, a methodology of practice. We call it as copybook cricket. Now, every arts or artist have a style of their guru. Similarly, if you want to have a personality of your choice of the future, identify your environment rightly, which helps you to build your values, your ambition, your drive, your experience around that. All the outputs of this can be seen in terms of your value systems. Your value systems could be as simple as not snoozing when you get up. That's also a value system, because you don't want to procrastinate. If you decide to take up something, previous slide, please. So your value systems, your ambition, your drive has to get aligned in the direction in which you want to build your self-assessment. So just go back, Mohan, to the earlier slide number 3. Yeah. So all you try, what is drive here? What is passion? What is zeal? This is an output of the influence which you get. Many times over a period of time, you are self-driven. That happens over a period of time. That's why you need environmental support, outside support. That's where you build your ambitions right. That's why build up your success and stepping stone of all your failure stones over a period of time helps you to know your next right milestone. And let me also give you some examples of what happens when you have 2 meals a day. I had 2 meals a day for close to 5 years. You know the importance of earning. You started realizing, why should I earn? And how should I leverage those pocket money given by my parents? It could be 10 rupees, it could be 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees. Doesn't matter. You learn these value systems over a period of time. Ambition, please have biggest of the biggest ambition. Write it on your desk, wherever you sit to write, read, learn. Write it. Make it as your screen, backdrop in your screen in the mobile phone. Write your ambition so that it reminds you where to go, where to go, where to go, where to go. Or you might be recalled in terms of realizing these are the step correction which I need to do. These are the small corrections in my life I have to do. Supporting all this is your finances and qualification. Now, if you're already done with your qualification, I will not cover those details of how can you score better and all that. I'm presuming that all of you are qualified enough. Ways to support your family. There are hundreds and thousands ways to earn a livelihood for yourself and to your family. Now, one, keep your vision, keep your ambition based on your qualification. You want to drive yourself to in that direction to reach that goal. Now, many times you may not reach that goal, or you may not know how to reach that goal, or you may not be successful in reaching that goal, right? So what happens for all of us, reasons such as outside of our control takes charge. For example, our own inability to have a sustainable living space, or a reasonable food and shelter. Okay, a reasonable set of people who can help you, guide you. Now, you might call it as professor, you might call it as mentor, you might call such people as your good friends. Many times they could be helping you to push you forward in the direction of your goal, or they also might be a deterrent. You know, you have seen the road humps or the bumps on the road. Many times there are enough and more barriers to what you want to do. Now, what do you do in such time? Let me tell you, I found in myself, when you create a goal in your life, besides having it known to you all the time and reminding you of what you want to do, I always did my plan, the second plan A, and the third plan A, and the third, fourth plan A. There is nothing called plan B in life. You will not fall back. You will always fall forward. You will never fall back. You will fall forward. So why I'm giving you these anecdotal examples? Many times we think that the road is closed, the world is dark, I can't get a job. Let me tell you what I did in my life. I started selling my books, books which were naturotherapy books to doctors, physicians who started learning naturotherapy. And in the bargain, I started making some money instead of sitting and wasting time at home. I started doing videography. I joined as an assistant carrying light, but eventually I learned videography. I started selling mango juices. It's a factory wherein mango juice production was used to happen. And suddenly I realized there is a way to market these mango juices. So what I did while I continued to do my master's, I did while doing my bachelor's and master's, I kept on reinventing myself. Besides teaching smaller students, teaching has been my passion as a student myself. Being a good student, because somebody said study well, I just blindly followed their instruction. So I used to take tuitions for people who can't hear, people who can't speak. I started giving tuitions. In the bargain, my clarity of the knowledge of mathematics and physics and chemistry improved. Many times when you teach, you improve better than the student. So what I'm trying to impress here is create your plans along with your journey when you want to reach a destination. Many times you may have to walk, you may have to take a bicycle, you may have to take a state government bus, or you may have to take your own car. Now, the journey sometimes difficult. Don't give up. Have your plan B, second plan A, so that in your mind frame, you always tell, I will do this until I reach my destination. So what can go wrong? Your friends can come and put you down. Your relatives, your parents, let me tell you, my parents said once, we used to have a humble living, and it was one bedroom, one kitchen, one living room, everything is in one room. Okay, that's the kind of a background I come from. So now, when I used to get up at 3 a.m. to read qualify myself in my academics during my post-graduation and graduation, my dad used to say, you are the only one studied in this universe. Get back to sleep, because they used to get distracted and disturbed. Including your own parents and the near and dear ones could be your deterrent and barriers. You need to politely break that barrier and move on in the direction in which you want to build your career or future. Now, next slide, please, Mohan. So what does it mean? A lot of time you should spend in self-awareness. Many times you might think that this is a gospel he's giving. You don't understand my problem in life. I have a different set of problem, Praveen. Why are you giving me some yarn session on something which you can't control? Let me tell you, many times not being self-aware can't give you the direction to reach where you want to reach. So you need to know, for example, there is a career which you want to take up. There is a set of tracks and paths which you need to generate. You need to create those options. Example, let me give you an example. If you want to apply for jobs, and this is exactly what I did when I did my bachelor's until I got a master's seat. For my post-graduation seat, there is a gap between my exams getting over after graduation to post-graduation, about 3 months. I was not very, very kicked, or aspirationally I was aspiring to be a postgraduate, but I had no direction. I had nobody to tell me what courses I should take, what academic courses I need to take. I never knew which colleges I should go and study. Let me give you some snippets of what I did differently. I started applying for everywhere in my local village, my city, nearest city, to the large metros. There is, at least I must have applied for 250 jobs. I used to go to the central library because I could not afford an employment news. Those days, an employment news used to cost 2 rupees per week. Employment news will come once a week. It used to cost 2 rupees. Since I could not afford, I will go to the central library and I will read that employment news and I will write it on my notebook, all the open positions, and I apply through simple post for all those jobs as well as post-graduation courses. Now, is this a Herculean task? Yes, it is. Is the journey good? No. Is it boring? Absolutely yes. Is it frustrating? You tell me. So it is, you can't give destiny and your future in the hands of somebody called luck. Don't give your future and your destiny in the hands of luck. I've also seen people who do, they pray and they go to temples and they go to festivities and they give offerings. Let me tell you, God helps those who help themselves. I abstained from attending every function of my family, my near relatives, my village functions. I was living in a small village of 10,000 people. I used to go to the city for studies. I abstained, primarily because I was knowing one thing. I will go pillars to pole and keep applying in the areas in which I can potentially get an employment. Meanwhile, I ensured I am not sitting idle. I earn something. See, while earning could be a main objective, you know what happens when you earn money? Or when you do so-called, let me use this word called side business. People do side business when they have a prime job, okay? I call it as hobby getting into a mainstream profession. Now, can you build your own hobby? Can you build a profession which you've not explored? Can you build a profession by taking advantage of the circumstances and the situation which you are in? In the bargain, I suddenly improved my English skills. In the bargain, I understood how to deal with employees. In the bargain, I understood, even if it was a borrowed shirt, I will keep the shirt underneath my cot or bed, bed, so that the shirt is ironed. I could not buy a ironing box because it's expensive. So I will stack it in such a way uniformly underneath my bed so that they're all ironed at the end of the day. So I was looking good. So I learned how to dress, how to speak, how to sell myself. I also learned how to sell my whatever little skill I have. Having said that, you can also complement by working really hard on what is that education taught you. Your subject matter expertise should be rock solid. There is no way you can let down yourself if somebody asks you questions on your subject matter, if the interview is in that area. Or even better, you should know the place where you're going for an interview or applying for a role. Thankfully, you have Uncle Google, right? Uncle Google. How do you make use of this uncle? He's one of your uncle today. He's not biased. He's very simple. He is easily accessible with your Brahmastra called phone. Please make a lot of notes about the industry, the company, the subject matter expertise you want to gain, the knowledge of a particular person, people, institution, organization you want to apply. Let me tell you, in my first job interview after my post-graduation, I was aggregate of second rank in the class. We were about 49 or 46 people in the classroom. So all the best in class students were made to go to the interview first. So I was the second rank holder until about the last semester. In the last semester, I've even beaten the top player, and I was a gold medalist in the finally when I came out. Surely because he can, Keith Mendes was his name, and I'm still in touch with him. He could read the subject twice. I have to read the subject 10 times. But the difference was 8 times more when I read. My hard work really made me to write all the pointers in the exam, thereby scoring in the last trimester extremely good marks, even superseding all my other trimester marks. So team, what I'm trying to help you here is, I think we know what we want to do, but we don't take action on them. When I made 70 pages notes for that interview, and let me tell you, these are notes made out of the sheets of paper of Syndicate Bank. Every Saturday afternoon, Syndicate Bank will burn those those sheets of paper which can't be utilized by anybody because it's confidential. I will go and stand next to that person, that peon who burns those papers. And I will request, beg, borrow. 7 times he made me run away from that place. 8th time he felt pity on me and he gave me all the A3 sheets of paper. Not A4, it's big one. You know why I did that? Because the backside of that paper was my rough book. So I used to stitch my rough book. And I made 70 pages notes for this A.V. Birla interview. Let me tell you what happened. 40 minutes of discussion about my subject knowledge. Even my principal or my HOD can't beat me on that subject knowledge because I was overconfident to make sure I bring in every knowledge which is required in that particular subject. Of course, Uncle Google was not there. So whatever the subject matter knowledge which I have to know, I knew it very well. I could present myself first 40 minutes. He made a mistake, the interviewer. He said, what do you know about A.V. Birla Group? I said, Mr. Maheshwari, do you have 20 minutes? He said, of course, yes. He kept on smoking and he started looking at the 90 mm board with the chalk piece. I used the entire 90 mm board and wrote about that company. He just stood up and said, Praveen, thank you so much. I joined this company 3 months back. You made me realize to know so much about this company, more than my stint of 3 months in this company. Thank you very much. You gave me a good induction about this company. Might look very pompous example, but let me tell you, I did that in every stage of my even career. One of my colleague who's also involved, working with Jay very, very closely, and they are good pals. I will never go underprepared for any meetings. I will not show off, but you have to over-prepare, over-communicate. To an extent, a small element, if possible, a little overconfident also. A little. I'm not saying you should be flamboyant. Slightly, because it neutralizes when the other person is very, very aggressive. It becomes nullified, that additional overconfidence you had, it becomes nullified and you become confident. Over prepare, over communicate, over deliver. So have your subject knowledge, institute knowledge, knowledge of academics, and every work you have done. Now, here is what and that's why in the subsequent sessions, if possible, if you like me, I will tell you, how do you answer a question on project management, which you did, the hobby project which you did, the assignment you did sitting at home, or even the assignment which you did by copying last year's project report of the friend, and the project report was in the library, in the library catalog. So how do you make sure? So all this knowledge, I call it as non-negotiable. You can't go to an interview or have an interaction with someone who may be a potential employer of yours without preparing for it. And that's a chapter by itself. I always say your CV has 6 chapters. The first chapter is about yourself, second chapter is about your skills and certification, third chapter is all about academic excellence, how did you achieve, how you did not achieve, why you scored less from 12th to your graduation, and then suddenly you saw you're scoring well. There are questions around. That's the third chapter. Fourth chapter is about your interest and hobbies. Fifth chapter is about a little bit of project which you did through your project work. So, your CV, your resume consists of 6-7 chapters. And each chapter you should know it well. And, let me tell you, even CEOs do mistakes when they sit in an interview, because either they're not prepared, or they think too much of themselves, or they think that that's good enough for me to sit for an interview because I'm a gift to the mankind. You're gone. The day you have number of monkeys on your back and the weight of the monkeys will be so heavy that you think too much of yourself, that's the end of life. Being humble, being committed, doing the simple thing again and again, every ordinary person will become extraordinary. It's just that he doesn't leverage or she doesn't leverage. Okay, I've given you a lot of a lot of insights, which could be too much to absorb today, but we can get into the detail if you want. So the next slide talks about being aware, being interested, all that I covered. Yeah, this is an important slide. This is an easy slide for you to understand. Okay, now this slide talks about passion, drive, energy, assertiveness, self-confidence. Now nobody will gift you. Okay, even you can't have a silver spoon given by your mother and they will feed you. You should have built it over a period of time. High energy. Let me give an example. You will say, "Sir, you have given us these insights, and I don't know how do I build a high energy." Let me tell you, high energy. When I say high energy, if somebody talks about your specialized knowledge and you say this particular knowledge amongst various subjects, I know it well. You should rattle with passion. That's high energy. You should be so passionate about it that person should think, "Oh my God, I made a mistake by asking this question to this guy." What is attitude? Let me give an example of attitude. I always say this to my team, my bosses. Do you have, see, in life, you don't have choice of your spouse and you don't have choice of your boss in general, okay? And you don't have a choice of your parents, right? So that's all gifted. That's all, I think God made it that way. So you will have certain people with you by design or even by default. Now, you need to find a way to survive in that environment. Not giving up. I'll give an example of Rahul Dravid. This was a casual conversation I had with him And you might know Rahul Dravid, he's a cricketer. He tells me, and this was, I've met him multiple times, and I've invited him, Dravid, Kumble, all these cricketers, we call them for management guest lecture sessions. Harsha Bokle, recently I called him for one before he went to IPL. So Rahul's example really gave me jitters in my spine. He was qualified as not eligible to play one days and 2020s. He was wall of India, and people said he can only play test matches. His attitude was to go to that Chinnaswamy Stadium, practice whether rain or sun or moon. He was practicing left, right, center, using a cork ball, wet cork ball on the inside the pitch, on the pitch, as well as the inside when it rains in the cemented floors. He was practicing 4 to 5 hours a day. Usain Bolt practiced 6 hours a day, 4 days a week, just to run once in 4 years, 100 meters. That's an attitude. When I learned tabla, my guru used to say 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day, because a young tablist from a village, school was at 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock, my dad used to wake me up. I was 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. And by 13, I was an all India radio artist. 4 o'clock, he used to wake me up. In Kerala, you can do a cold shower in the morning. Initially you feel bad, but you have a wet cloth, which is tied on your and you have to sit on the tabla. And it used to bleed initially. And you have to play tabla till about 9:30, 15 minutes of breakfast, and then you have to walk. School was close by. That's attitude, team. Initially, huge revolt from my side. I never found meaning in my life by playing tabla for 4.5 hours. So that's attitude. Likewise, there are many pointers there. Each one I can tell you a story for 1 hour each. So you should be extremely adaptable. Let me tell you, if you applied for 100 jobs, nobody calls you. No, not to worry. The next bus you take, go to the nearest city. Go to that uncle's aunt's house. Make sure you don't disturb them much. Help them in their household chores. And then go and apply for 10 other places which you think you might have a potential opportunity to succeed. If you are not good at English as a communication, go in search of that particular friend who can speak good English. Make a phone call, make a video call with that person, and ask him to do mock interviews every day, 1 hour. Okay, take an English newspaper, write the paragraph, and speak in front of the mirror every day for 45 minutes. Record your voice, record your style of speech, and suddenly you realize, you really look bad. Listen to some of the good English news, English movies, English guest lecture sessions, online, offline if possible. Offline currently not possible, but most of it online. Even today, I see a serial called Suits on Prime, Amazon Prime. Even today, I learned the way Harvey interacts there. Fascinating. The day you stop learning because you're a global head, that's gone. That's done. You're done with your life. Yeah, you have to have a rhythm to the madness, a rigor to the madness. The rigor will make you feel and do better in life. The last slide for today, as I said, 10 minutes I'll give you. It's about your knowledge, your academics, your specialization, your CV, your projects. You can. I think by mistake I put transition there, Mohan. You can put the entire slide. So what I'm saying is, you have to practice. There is no madness you can achieve without practice. Rekindle your thought process to start with, as I said at the beginning. Put all your actionables in a sheet of paper. Start taking small steps to the large journey which you have. Count on all your milestones as you go by. every small win, pat on your back. Never expect people to come and pat on your back. Not required. Not required. You have to tell yourself, I will pat on my back myself. I will not depend on somebody else to pat on my back. So I think there are a lot to do. This is just the beginning. I've told you too many stories today to make sure you like me. So I've done my sales job because I'm a practicing sales job guy, right? I'm a person who have gone through this kind of life. When I say something, it comes from Nabhi. You know Nabhi? At the center of your stomach. Not even heart. It pains when it comes from there. So everything what I'm going to tell you and has been told to you from my inherent life stories which I've gone through. So what we can do if everything goes well, at any point in time, you need to know more about what you can do. We can take it forward from here. I will see there are 9 chats. Okay, all these chats are okay, sir. Okay, so any point in time, you have any questions for me? Unmute yourself. You can ask me questions. You can also criticize my session. You can say, I've learned nothing from this session. You ought to change. Boss, you change it. And talk to us about these areas of specialization. I will do that if I know it. I should be humble enough to tell you if I know it. Please type on your phone. You're good at typing on your phone.
Who wants to ask a question? Tarika, Ezekiel, Saumya, Harita.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
You could unmute yourself. Yeah. Saumya, were you going to say something?
That's my email, because many times if you're shy, if you're not willing, you can type. You can type an email. Yeah. So, see what I'm trying to impress here, option A and option B, many times people talk about option B, plan B. I don't want to call it as plan B, not because I like that way. The moment you say it's a plan B, that means it gives, you're giving the second priority for that. I'll give an example and you'll understand this well. Today's kids, I'm also a kid like you. Today's kids have multiple skill sets. Okay. Now, all the skill set can be leveraged. I know a friend of mine, and I know many such friends, youngsters, okay, who's a RJ in the morning 6 to 10, he's an RJ, radio jockey. About 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, he goes to Hotel Leela. It's a 5-star hotel. He plays guitar there. Evening, he writes content for a BPO company. He writes content in English for a techno-commercial writing he does. Night, he has acquired a skill wherein he becomes the fan commentator for European football. And he gets paid something there, okay, if you predict the match and all that. What I'm trying to impress, many times all of us have different skill sets. All these skill sets, in my assumption and my commitment has been, I always developed 2 skill sets which can really help me to go hand in hand. One, other skill set become your companion. When you're high and low, it calibrates you. It brings you to the normal state. When you're well, it helps you to scale up. So I think it calibrates. So don't have multiple don't have a plan B or a plan C. Have plan A, 2 plan A's, wherein you can focus on both. As you get into mainstream job, you can reduce time spent, but that's also, you can deprioritize for some time, but don't kill it. Don't kill it. Let me tell you, the day I give up on my full-time job, I can get back within 3 months to be a full-time professional tableist. I can promise. I can promise, because I continue to play, continue to practice. Likewise, teaching. I do it on the weekends for people like you, but the day the mainstream job which I am doing, I don't want to discontinue. If I want to discontinue, I will take a full-time teaching. You may not earn as much as corporate salary, but let me tell you, I'll be as good or even better than the full-time professors, because I've always did that for last 25 years. That's what I meant by plan A and plan A. That's why I said fall forward, don't fall back. I'm sure student learned the reason Praveen is successful is ability to communicate. No, sorry. I was successful because of my commitment. I'm successful because of my hard work. You look smart by working hard. There is nothing called smart work in this universe. I beg to differ from many. Team, believe me, you look smart by working hard. You can't be smartly working and look smart. That's a great statement to make. Go and ask. Go and ask a local hero who is a champion of a particular sport or game or art. Ask him or her. He will tell you. He will tell you, work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. Nothing else but work hard. Now, the arguments could be, arguments could be, sir, in spite of working hard, I always fall down. I will always have doors closed. Let me tell you, friends, I attempted for at least 24 to 25 institutes for my post-graduation. I failed in 24 of them, and one I got qualified. I gave up. It was very sad. Whenever I come back home in my train, my dad and mom and my relatives used to mock at me. Look at, oh, you did not become a doctor? You did not become an engineer? What is this, HR? People mocked at me in my village. The day I got a heavy Birla job, people came with laddus to my house. You know what I did? I stood at the gate. You know how village houses are. Stood at the gate and I told them, and this was my sign, if you can see me. I said, go back. I don't need your laddus. Let me tell you, team, when you do well, everybody comes with laddus to your house. When you do bad, you're alone. Not even your parents, not even your siblings, not even your spouse. Even he or she will criticize you. So, team, you can be a CEO. Ask a CEO, is his life good? Ask uncle, who's a great doctor. Ask Nivedita, she works with so many different people. Ask her which day she really enjoys herself. They all build their careers. Ask Jay, ask Mohan. It is, in life, team, it's okay to listen. It's great to implement. If you don't implement, in spite of your failure, let me give an example, a nice example, and you will love it. You know Usain Bolt, world record holder of 100 meters, series of wins in Olympics. He had a false start in one Olympic final. 4 years of practice, gone into the water. He had a false start. He was disqualified from that event itself. After winning all the heats, qualifying himself in the finals, he's going to create a world record. You know what happened? Next Olympics, he created a world record. You want another example of sports? You might be thinking, sir, you're giving only good examples. We have to take only good example to get motivated. I'll give you 2 more and then I'll stop. Okay, team. If you're, I'm watching your chat. Let me give you an example. You go and search Sergey Bubka. Sergey Bubka. Sergey Bubka. You can use your audio to Google search Sergey Bubka. He's a pole vaulter. You hold that stick and run towards a hole and you stick it hard and you jump. Last year, after 20 years, somebody's beaten his own record. You know what used to happen for Sergey Bubka? Every year he'll come for World Championship and Olympics. He'll beat his own records. Team, beat your own records. And be sincere about it. And my last example of the last match of Sachin Tendulkar, when I went to the ground in Bombay, he came 2.5 hours in advance to the net practice. 2.5 hours. Yeah. 2.5 hours in advance to the ground. What was the need? In fact, when I saw him coming to the dressing room, team, when he came for the dressing room, I had tears in my eyes, not because I saw Sachin Tendulkar. I had tears in my eyes because it was last one day. He already had hundreds. What was the need for Sachin to come to the ground 2.5 hours in advance before every other player who came to the ground to practice? He came alone and used all the rookies to bowl for him and he practiced. That's an attitude, team. That's an attitude. He had hundreds. You want more example? Look at all artists. Why in the green room? Even Zakir Hussain, who plays tabla, who's my idol. I worship in my temple here. I worship him. This guy, he has 2 Grammy Awards. He comes to Bangalore, in that hall, in the green room, he has to sit and practice for 1 hour with a fellow mate who's going to play with him, or Jugalbandi. What was the need for a Grammy Award winner who has done thousands of such programs to prepare for the session, which is unique and new? That's an attitude. That's hard work. That's sincerity. That's commitment. You have to draw a lot of sweat in your life. People are there to throw stones at you. I'm sorry to say this, when you're not doing well. People will come with laddus when you succeed. Just don't expect laddus. Please be Sergey Bubka. Please be Nadia Khomeini. That's another gymnast whom you should see. And let me tell you why I give you these examples. They motivate me even today. I'm committed to what I do in life. Be it, charity for children like you, or be it a guest lecture session like this, or be it excellence in my education or in my journey in academic, in the corporate world. So team, don't forget, you can be one. Remember this, very ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Gone are those days when people used to believe your son, your daughter is gifted. God has given equal gifts to every one of us, including people who don't have the so-called all the 5 senses. They have the 6th sense. I don't know whether you've seen this. People who can't see, people who can't hear, they will have some other sense. And if you observe them very carefully, they're much better than you in that particular sense. So never say that I'm not good enough. Never say you can't do it. Yeah, there could be a delay. There could be a delay, but you can.
Praveen, can I be your student? Can you give me one-to-one session?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
One of the best we've had.
Yeah, even I can also be a student, actually.
Yeah, Praveen, wonderful session, motivational, very motivational. more than learning some skills. Anyway, skills will come with your enough motivation. Everything will come follow you.
And there are some comments, Praveen. There, Saumya and few other students, Janani, Gokul, and Uncle have sent you a few messages.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, thank you, team. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anytime, team. I mean what I say. I normally respond to all my emails within 24 hours. Yeah, I can't travel these days. Even in the aircraft, I can reply, and I've done that sincerely for my kids. My kids of 25,000 in the 25 years. It might look a little odd now when you listen to me, but I really mean it. Even in spite of getting beaten sometime on the knuckles, by my own family. They think that you have more time for others than us. It happens, right? Everybody's selfish in the universe, including your child.
Problem.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's okay. It's okay to get beaten. That's okay. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Praveen, there's a question for you. Is confidence in yourself the uncle? I think it's uncle.
Yeah. So how do we always? So I think one is I have companionship of art and my teaching and my service to the society. I do it in intermittent weeks. So what happens? Anything which you are not able to do well and you get into a low, you bounce back with a high because you've taken that alternative. So being an artist and having an interest to really make even my daughter a good artist gives me enough and more opportunity to keep my motivation level high. Second, being a teacher, being with the students community, and today's my student community has become CEOs and they become entrepreneurs. Some people run institutions. When I talk to them from time to time, there are people up in life. Even they talk, that's a motivation for me. So I talk to them. That gives me a high. Again, some instances makes me low, and I get back by. So as I said, I have 2 or 3 plan A's, and I invest my time on them, and that gives me a zeal to survive in life. Every day which God has given us. I'm not Sadhguru, okay, team, but but let me promise you. You can be bigger than Sadhguru or any of these preachers whom you know and you believe the cults which you can behave or you can be one by implementing the nuggets every day. Don't give up on it. I think that is I never seen mood swings in my life. Very, 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 very rarely. So that's how you should be. Yeah, which means you have to let go of sometimes family time. You have to let go of an interesting. For example, today we had an important ceremony at home, and I have to drop my own brother to the railway station. So I have to politely, deny him because I never knew that he's coming. So, will you get beaten on the knuckles? Yeah, you will. So what else can happen? Next time you give him a drop. That's okay. Yeah, he will feel bad. Yes, he will feel bad. Are you falling on his feet and tell him, sorry, I couldn't do it? That's okay. 2 days he will not talk to you, but third day he will talk to you. So that's how you should bounce back. Having good and bad day, every one of us have. The difference between people who are successful and highly motivated, their time spent between bouncing back from the low to the high is very small. They bounce back quickly. So every one of us should make that smaller day by day. Don't spend too much of time in bouncing back.
Super. Thank you so much. I think we would definitely be beneficial for our student to do more specific sessions for them any areas you pick or they choose. And
continue on with this. Yeah, same students every.
do they all have email is the best way to get to you, Praveen?
Yeah, I've given my emails. They can email it to me.
Okay.
Uncle, team, you should tell me, and you should decide a team of 20 of you or 30 of you, depending on. You should tell me what area I should speak on. So I will do my research and then come and give you a dedicated session on them. So that way you take home something new, something you want to know, and something which can value add to your life. This is more of generic session for all of you. You are getting, I'm humbled. If it helps you, I'm humbled. That's cute. Even the side.
Nivedita's kids.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem. That makes it lively.
I just want thank you, Mr. Praveen. I just want to give one example for the students. You said, right, come back, race back after the failure, bring that gap between falling down and then raising up. Just give one example I would just want to give, which is horse, right? We all know horse. The moment horse falls, it will immediately stand up, not like other animals. Don't become like elephant, right? Elephant falls, it becomes very hard for it to get up, right? But we all think, we have elephant like a skill or barriers to raise up, right? There is nothing, just think like a horse. It doesn't matter whether you are 20 or 40, 50 or 60. As long as you have that and then build that skill, you can very quickly get up and then move on. I just wanted to add this one example so that students can relate to that, what you said.
Thanks, Prasad. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity and lovely example to complement what I tried to explain. Thank you, Prasad.
You've met Prasadana before, right? You've spoken.
No, we have not. I missed the other meeting.
I saw it as a lot of conversations in the SEEEDS WhatsApp.
Oh yeah.
I know he is a person who spends a lot of time giving insights and input. So that's how.
You got it. He's the president, and he's the pillar.
No, we are all pillars. There is no single pillar.
One of the pillars.
Yeah.
Prasadana, do you want to finish?
Yeah, sure. I will. Again, it's a wonderful opportunity, Mr. Praveen. I missed the first meeting and very wonderful session today. Thank you very much for coming down and then sharing your experiences, your knowledge, what you have acquired for so many years to our students. I've listened to the whole session. I just want to give two examples for the students as well. What Mr. Praveen has said, right? The barriers, number one, right? The barriers will always be there, right? Don't expect somebody will come and then open with red carpet and things like that. Again, the barriers will be there within the family members itself, right? Don't be surprised. I myself have experienced it, right? For me, barriers are there everywhere. I mean, same thing with Nivedita, same thing with Uncle, same thing with Mohan, everybody, right? So make sure that you overcome those barriers, and people will insult you, people will tell you so many things, right? Don't give up, and then be strong, and then work towards it, right? And then, people have even told, I mean, my early days in 89, 90, 94, they said, I want to become a software engineer, like anybody else. And they say, after all, you have studied diploma, how are you going to compete with the guys who finished BE and MCA? And in those days, BE and MCA are the only qualifications acceptable to become a software engineer. But we have to work hard, break the odds, and then do it. Barriers are there everywhere. So please don't give up just by looking at 1 barrier, 2 barriers, or 10 barriers. It'll be there, right? And one example, another thing Mr. Praveen rightly said is spending time with. If you want to become a sportsman, start mingling with those people. Spend time with the sports, with that specific sport, right? Same thing I did, right? I started my career in railways as a clerical job. I wanted to become a software engineer. I got a posting in a goods shed. I have to count how many gunny bags of paddy has been loaded in this goods wagon, how many liters of petrol has been loaded in this wagon. That is my job, because that is what they gave me, right? But that is not my goal. My goal was to become a software engineer. So how do I make it? Baby steps, right? So first I wanted to go to the computers. So got transferred to Chennai reservation office. That is the time when computerization was happening. I'm talking about 1989. Okay. And then after that, there also what I got, there is no programming job for me to do. I was only working on, in those days, equivalent to Excel, Lotus 123, WordStar, that work only. At least, so slowly then after that, I didn't spend most of my time with my railway colleagues. I spent most of my time with CMC, was the organization who developed the software. And then I used to go and stand in their room, that's all. Just stand in a corner. I'll be just watching, like standing like this and watching what they are doing. I will not utter a single word. After a few years, slowly started learning. I'm telling you, all this happened when I was 19 years, 20 years old. Okay. So slowly started learning, finally achieved it. So spend time with the profession or the professional what you want to be. Spend more time with them. That I really liked. Mr. Praveen has addressed it. Very few people have not seen that in any of those sessions. So thank you very much, Praveen. I mean, I can keep on talking for another more than an hour reviewing Mr. Praveen's session, but I will cut short here. It's a wonderful session. It's a very good eye opener for many of us. Very wonderful motivational speech. And thank you very much. Hope our students will really benefit from your knowledge and skills so that they can also succeed. Thank you very much.
Thanks, team. Thank you very much. Looking forward. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.